Welcome back to another video. I am the Steel Knight, and today I bring you not only a new video, but kind of a PSA, as it were. Whether we like it or not, something at some point in time became a gateway for us, for hobbies or interests and even opportunities. Now for us in the shooting world, it's usually either the thrill of shooting a certain caliber, marksmanship and how fun it can be, learning tactics, or, and this usually is the first and foremost, shooting a particular gun. That's right, boys and girls. Every manufacturer has a gun. A gateway gun, as it were. With Glock, they got the 19. SIG has the P226, or for the ladies, probably a 938. And more than a few have some decent 1911s. At some point, someone is going to want to show off and say, hey, you want to try my gun? This, my friends, is known as your local pusher. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, do not be fooled. No one tries to share a crappy gun. And as we all know, the first taste is free. Then afterwards, when your skin starts to itch, where do you go? That's right, your local dealer. Gun store dealer. If it's the other kind, stop watching this and seek help. Maybe reevaluate your life. Anyway, so from here the path can go many ways. Some buy what they shot, some buy something that looks or sounds cool, some buy the biggest boom. This is not important. What is important is that before you know it, you're selling your soul to your wife or significant other for some bullets and range time, or a new toy entirely. Now before there sometimes was a safety check in place. This is called the price of admission. See, some manufacturers' guns are kind of high priced, so the price of admission is high. And when you fool yourself into thinking that, well, they're all the same, and if one company has a similar gun at a much lower price point, you go for that. One reason why Glocks are so popular. Price of admission for what you get is pretty low. However, many people buy something around a $700 1911 and before you know it, are making Windex usage go up at their local gun store where the high-end 1911s are on display. It's a sickness, folks, and the only medicine is your caliber of choice. So there was one company where you were most safe. H&K. Oh sure, they had the cool factor, the movie factor, and they even had what the military uses factor. But good God, what can a $900 plus HK do that my $500 Glock can't? So most people at the start just kind of avoided that pond. But if you dipped your toe in that pond, realize that the pond you can't afford a woman and H&Ks. So the price of admission kept you safe. Or married. Then in a stroke of what can only be labeled as insidious, HK decides to return to the polymer striker market with this, the VP9, or the Volks Pistol 9. Now a lot of people remarked, oh that's cute, HK is trying to compete with Glock. A little late on that. Without realizing that H&K actually beat Glock to the punch, but never capitalized on it. Instead, they went the direction of the P7, which is arguably one of the finest handguns ever to exist. And what is worse, what is so deceptive is that it looks a lot like the already been in production for some time now P30 series. Only as you can see at a much lower price. By almost half. So this is where they get you. Because hey, you know, what are we? Smart consumers. We can't be fooled. If it takes this much or more to ride H&K, then how much of a joke is this going to be? Where did they compromise? Quality? Accuracy? Shootability? What's the gimmick? Let's take a look, and you can figure out for yourself if I'm here to actually help you. This is the VP9, as I said. Looks familiar. Fortunately, that's not where the similarity ends. Of course, we notice it's missing a few pieces. Hammer, manual safety, decocker, etc. It's a striker-fired gun, and as I've stated before, I'm not really a striker-fired guy. So then why do I call this gun HK's gateway gun? Because if I was going to carry any polymer striker, this little bad boy would be it. It has all the bells and whistles still. Front cocking serrations, Euro paddle mag release that's smooth and strong, back and side panels to fit your individual hand, internal safeties, decent sights, Picatinny rail, and a 15 round count magazine. So yeah, big whoop. A lot of pistols have some of those. So what's the big deal? The big deal, my friends, is for the price. This pistol has got it all. Let's break it down. First, the quality. You do not notice a difference between the feel and quality of a $1,000 P30 versus the $550 VP9. They both feel completely rock solid. Okay, so then what's the $500 gun missing that the $1,000 one has? Great question. First off, it doesn't have a hammer spring, so the grip is not only the same as the P30, but it's slightly smaller. The grip texture is a little bit different. So it can be easier to grip for people with smaller hands. The bore axis of the VP9 is slightly lower. This is in part due to the fact that it doesn't have a hammer or a recoil buffer that the P30 does. So that must mean the cheaper VP9 kicks worse than the P30. Damn, my viewers are a sharp bunch. Another good question. Glad you asked. However, no. See, this part of the pistol I usually refer to as the tang. Hangs farther over the hand, thereby seating it deeper and creating leverage that helps mitigate the recoil. This is one of the softest shooting polymer 9s around. Of course, for $500, you still also get ambidextrous controls. So it's all down to one thing. HK's Achilles heel sometimes, the trigger. For $500 some, you're probably not getting a trigger near Glock, and no way in hell a stock Walther PPQ trigger. You son of a... You evil bastards, how could you? You put a trigger like this in a pistol like this and priced it like this? You start to panic. Well, maybe it's not as accurate. Well, maybe it's not very reliable. Well, I bet it feels the same as a Glock then. Works, but mostly underwhelming. Damn. So you give in. You must have it. That is when the true evil genius of this gun comes out. Because one day the thought plants itself in your head. I wonder what else HK's got. Now you might think I'm saying the P30 isn't worth it. This is far from the case. The P30 is a fantastic pistol set up just how I like it. If it wasn't one of the best guns around, would it have been the gun of choice for John Wick? Yeah, that was a little shameless, but it's my video, so deal with it. Now I'm all about facts and numbers. So what do I have to back up these claims? I have a modest collection of guns. I've got some fun guns, some serious guns, and some regular guns. A lot of people have shot and tried my guns. No one has shot one of my guns and then went out and bought the exact same gun, except for the VP9. Not one, not two, but 3 people after shooting the VP9 once had to have it. Now don't get me wrong, they wanted the other guns I have, but as I said, the price of admission for those is high. The VP9 gets it so right, it's scary. So much so that in this video, instead of going into the crazy engineering, I'm simply stating that you have to try it. It has a personality and a presence all its own. For what it costs, I dare say, it is the most bang for the buck you can buy. The real question we end up asking ourselves is it a Glock killer? No, but that's because it damn near takes having an engineering degree to take the damn thing apart and put it back together. However, in my opinion, while this gun performs better than most, where it will really nail you is while you can shoot other guns and walk away going, shooting is fun, you walk away from this gun going, that gun is fun. But hey, don't take my word for it. Go to your local gun range, ask a friend, try one out. If you got the stones, the sheer willpower to deny what I've said, I just say to you, denial is the first step on the road to recovery, my friend. Thanks everybody for listening. So as you keep it fresh, the next couple of videos are going to be some non-HK related videos. I know my steady viewers might notice a pattern, but there's some good stuff coming up soon, so stay tuned.